If you've been in a narcissistic relationship, how many times were you told that it was your fault? I'm sure plenty of times. There's a lot of times when the narcissist, the toxic person in your life, will put everything back on you and say, no, it's your fault. Like, you're the one that did this. You're the one that made me do this. And I'm sure over a period of time, they tell you, like, hey, it's your fault. You know, if you would have loved me better, then I wouldn't have cheated. If you would have respected me more, then I wouldn't have yelled. If you would have been there for me more, maybe I wouldn't have disappeared as much. And the excuses keep going on and on and on. And I'm sure starting off at the beginning of the relationship, like, the person would say that, the person would say and put that back that, hey, it's your fault. And you're probably like, no, like, it's not my fault at all. Like, I'm confident, I know who I am, and I know that that isn't my responsibility. But then the next 20 times come around, the next 30 times come around, and you start getting like one tiny shred of doubt, one tiny shred of guilt, because, I mean, the same person keeps saying it over and over that it's your fault. And you start wondering, like, okay, I don't think it's really my fault, but, like, maybe I could have phrased something different. Maybe I could have responded better. Maybe I could have acted a little bit different. And it starts creeping in more and more till the next 100 times the person tells you, hey, it's your fault. You're the one that made me do this. And all of a sudden you start thinking and you start believing, maybe it actually is my fault. Maybe I'm the one that's done this. Maybe I'm the bad person here. Maybe I'm the person that actually made this toxic person be this way. Maybe this is all on me. You're not. You see, you're not responsible for another person's actions. You're not responsible for their lack of accountability, their lies, their manipulation, their gaslighting. But they'll make you think that. They'll put that on you every single time because it's a lot easier for them to move and push the blame to someone else than it is to accept accountability and accept responsibility for their actions. If you guys don't follow me yet, my name's Ben Taylor. I'm a narcissist in recovery that works with people, whether it's narcissists, trying to get them to stop lying and admit who they actually are, or whether it's working with people who are abuse victims that have suffered from narcissistic abuse and trying to help them heal and change and grow and get to a place that they can find awareness and growth to be able to find healing, to be able to break out of a trauma bond, to be able to break out of the lies that the narcissist has put around them so many times. It's really dangerous and it's really toxic. So in this video today, like how I've mentioned so far, you've probably been to a place where they've blamed you a lot. They've blamed you for their actions. They've blamed you for their responses. They've blamed you for them losing their job, for them not having a good childhood. Like, whatever it is, they'll find a way to be able to twist it and blame. And over a period of time, you'll get to the place that you'll start thinking, maybe this actually is my fault. And what you have to look at time and time again is you have to look at the lies and you have to look at what they're saying, because it's not going to match up their words. It's not going to match up their actions. Everything is going to have a disconnect of what they're actually saying versus what they're actually doing. They'll say they love you, but then they'll rage at you. They'll say they love you, but then they'll cheat on you. And they'll say they're here for you and they want a future with you, but they don't make any steps in that direction. And as a result, they continue to make you feel crazy. They continue to invalidate you and your feelings. And you get to the place where you start thinking and questioning and doubting that maybe this actually does come back to be my fault. Once again, I'll say it's not. It's not your fault. So, like, a narcissist, when they go through this cycle, when they go through the different things that they're thinking and feeling, they get to a place where there might be a slight recollection or a slight moment of clarity that they feel some type of guilt. They want to get away from it, and they want to get away from the shame that comes with that guilt. So as a result, they'll push back and they'll put the blame on you. They'll start saying, like, hey, if you had loved me better, then I wouldn't have cheated. Well, no, you didn't cause them to cheat. You didn't hold a gun to their head and say, hey, go cheat on me. Like, please go be with someone else because you're definitely not happy with me. Go cheat on me. No. Because it was all lies. They kept it a secret. They kept it cheating. They kept it an affair. I've been there. I've done that. I understand how it works. They don't want to admit their actions. They don't want to admit the accountability or responsibility of the things that they're doing. So they'll lie. They'll blame. they'll gaslight, and they'll manipulate. And they'll try to do everything they can to be able to turn it back on you. You see, if I have an issue, if I have guilt, if I have shame, but if I can blame it on you, it might not take away all that shame completely, but it's going to reduce the majority of it. And if I get to the place that you actually accept that accountability for it, that you start realizing and you start apologizing to me for my actions, then I've started to get to a place where I feel a bit better about myself. Like, oh yeah, like I've been telling this person, I've been gaslighting them for a while that they're the bad one, that they're the wrong one. Now they're starting to believe it, so that means I'm actually better. I actually think better about myself. I actually feel better about myself. And then it just keeps perpetuating the cycle. Don't let them put the blame on you. And second, don't accept the blame. It can be a hard one to do, especially when it's pounded in on you multiple times. You get to the place you're just thinking, if I just accept it, maybe this problem will go away. If you accept it, you're putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound, and nothing's going to change. You're just hiding the inevitable. You're just hiding the future. And you're just hiding the rage that will eventually come, because the person that you're with that's toxic, that's blaming you for their actions and not taking any responsibility, is not going to change. They're not going to change because they're not going to admit who they are. They're not going to admit what they're dealing with. And they're not going to be honest about any of it. So as a result, they're going to keep blaming. They're going to keep shifting everything back on you to the point where you feel like you're getting crazy, where you're getting gaslit so much that you start to believe that you're the person that created them. You start believing that you're the person that made them into a cheater. You start believing that you're the person that helped them become an alcoholic. You start believing that you're the person that forced them into drugs. Like whatever it might be, they will find a way to try to manipulate and blame and gaslight you to the point that you feel crazy enough that you start accepting someone else's mess. Please be careful of that. Work on your growth, work on your healing, work on your self-security, and change your perspective so that you don't let them mold your perspective in a wrong way. And don't let them put the blame on you, and you accept that. You didn't make these people. You didn't make the narcissist become the narcissist. You didn't make the narcissist do the things that they do. You don't make them change, and you don't make them heal. It's all them. And they make the choice every single day whether they're going to continue the abusive cycle or whether they're going to stop. The majority of the time, they'll never stop, because it's a lot easier to shift the blame to someone else than it is to feel that shame of having to admit that I was wrong. Please be careful. Please be safe out there.